For a check-in on the impeachment inquiry in the United States, we're joined live by Bruce Wolpe from the United States Studies Centre. Bruce, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Annalise.
Can you tell us, today seems like one of the more dramatic days in the impeachment inquiry that we've seen so far?
Good morning, Annalise. It was a very dramatic day. You had the testimony of the United States Ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland, who said he was acting at the direction of the president and that there was a quid pro quo of Ukraine ordering the investigations that President Trump wanted and that Rudy Giuliani wanted into the Bidens, into the Democrats, into Ukraine, as a condition of getting aid and a condition of getting a meeting with between the two presidents. So it was a very confronting, very dramatic day. I believe the Democrats see this as the case being iced and locked in. The Republicans, though, conceded nothing unless there's tape of the president's voice himself ordering these things. They're going to continue defending the president, and they're not buying into the impeachment narrative that's being woven in the Intelligence Committee.
And it's all come down to this accusation that there was a quid pro quo. We heard Sondland say this in the impeachment inquiry. Let's take a look.
Was there a quid pro quo? As I testified previously, with regard to the requested White House call and the White House meeting, the answer is yes. Mr. Giuliani conveyed to Secretary Perry, Ambassador Volker, and others that President Trump wanted a public statement from President Zelensky committing to investigations of Burisma and the 2016 election.
He asked me the question, what do you want? I keep hearing all these things, what do you want? He finally gets me. I don't know him very well. I have not spoken to him much. This is not a man I know well. I say to the ambassador in response, I want nothing. I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo. Tell Zelensky, President Zelensky, to do the right thing. So here's my answer. I want nothing. I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo. Tell Zelensky to do the right thing. Then he says, this is the final word from the President of the United States. I want nothing.
No quid pro quo. That is the message from the president. And we saw there too, he had some very bold notes that he was reading off of when he was speaking to the press. It was a very strong response from the president.
He wanted to be loud and clear on it. What he was quoting from was the deposition that Ambassador Sondland gave some weeks ago. And he's changed his testimony twice to clarify it further. And today's today's testimony and under questioning is directly at variance with what the president referred to in Sondland's earlier testimony, and that's caused some problems for Sondland. I mean, is there a possible perjury charge here? Will be investigated by the Justice Department. So he has some vulnerability. But nevertheless, at least on the Democratic side, hearing these words directly from the ambassador and his direct experience, they believe that this case is absolutely locked in, and they are confident in going forward. And there is nothing now stopping the House of Representatives from voting for impeachment. This will not be, they will not be deterred. This can't be impeded. The president can't stop it. It's coming right at him.
So what happens in that instance? Is that the fait accompli, or is there more to come after the Democrats vote?
Well, before we get to the Democrats vote, next week is Thanksgiving. We can all have a little turkey together and just kind of relax for a moment. But what will happen is that there will be a report from the Intelligence Committee and everything that they found. It will go to the House Judiciary Committee, which under the rules of the House has jurisdiction over impeachment. The Judiciary Committee will craft the final recommendations on articles of impeachment. The Intelligence Committee will certainly suggest some, and then those will be taken to the floor. So just looking at the calendar coming ahead, the week of December 2nd, I think the Judiciary Committee will start meeting. The week of December 9th, I think they'll start voting. The week of December 16th, I think this measure should then be on the House floor that week before ultimately the Christmas break on the 21st or 22nd of December.
And just finally, we've seen there's another Democratic presidential nominee debate. What do you make of what the big issues are facing each of the candidates?
There are going to be several things the Democrats will be debating in about 2 hours' time out of Atlanta. Pete Buttigieg has emerged as the front runner in Iowa, and so there's going to be a lot of targeting on him. Elizabeth Warren has had trouble with her health care proposals, which are seen as very radical by many, including by President Obama, and so she'll be under pressure from there. Joe Biden, I think a real question is Joe Biden, who's been the center of the impeachment investigations, what's he going to have to say on impeachment, and how is he going to frame what everyone has been watching over the past 10 days in the House Intelligence Committee? So plenty to work with. I think there will be a lot of debate, a lot of excitement, but whether there's clarity on the field after the debate, that remains to be seen. I still think we have a long, long way to go.
Absolutely, and there's still the suspicion that Bloomberg might be entering the race at some point. Do you think that's shaping up as a probability?
He certainly wants to. He has to make a really cold-blooded assessment as to how far he can go. He has the ability to spend hundreds of millions of dollars. A presidential campaign costs these days about $1 billion. So, and it moves after these early states into mass media market primaries like California and Texas and New York. And he has the ability to do that. But whether he can have traction, whether he's really popular, that remains to be seen. Right now, he's polling in single digits, and a lot of Democrats feel we don't need another 70-year-old billionaire in the race. We need someone else who's going to take the party forward. That's what he's got to weigh.
Bruce Wolpe, as always, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Annalise.